Hey guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Elijah and this is Frankly Speaking with Glory. Don't be scared, I'm not wearing my wig today. This is my real hair. I'm just carrying a Didi hairstyle. So today's look is greatly inspired by Nollywood actor Zainab Balogun. Guys, I love this woman so much, and watching her movie Sylvia on Netflix, it just simply increased my dosage of love for her. Okay, so Zainab Balogun acted as Sylvia, the main character of the movie Sylvia on Netflix. So today I will be reviewing this movie based on a number of factors. Okay, and let me put this disclaimer out there. I am a graduate of English language and literature. I am also a writer, proudly a writer and a content creator, so I know these things. Okay, and the way I was taught by professionals from school, we were taught on how to use different factors, criteria to analyze or review a work of art. And I see Sylvia the movie as a beautiful, excellent work of art. So if you watch that movie, you might miss a lot of things. You might miss out on a lot of things. So what I'm going to be doing this morning is, aside reviewing the movie, I'm going to also help you point out those things that you might possibly miss while watching the movie. I'm going to list out all the factors now. So first of all, I'm going to be reviewing the movie based on its plot, the cast, the soundtrack, aka the background music, the cinematography, the picture, the theme or message of the movie, the dialogue, the plot holes. Yeah, the plot holes are basically those things left unexplained, but if you did not watch the movie closely, you would not realize that they were actually explained, but I just choose to call them plot holes. I'll also be reviewing the movie based on my favorite scenes. Guys, there were so many favorite scenes. I can literally tell you that all the scenes in the movie are just beautiful, but there were some that were just so excellently executed. I kept on repeating them over and over again just to watch them again. So I'll also be talking about actor analysis. This is me going to be analyzing the actors in the movie. Okay, I'll also be talking about the sound effects, the effects, every kind of effects in the movie, character growth as real life actors and actresses. I'll also be talking about the symbols and significance of different things, items in the movie. So guys, let's start. The movie opened with a saying from Salvador something, I think Dali, I didn't get the man's name properly, and the saying goes as, when we are asleep in this world, we are awake in another. So when I saw that message from the beginning of the movie, it just got me thinking that, okay, there's this thing called an afterlife, and I went on to Google and I was doing a lot of search about this afterlife thingy, and a lot of people were likening it to the theory of quantum of physics, that our physical bodies act in a certain way, atoms, molecules, blah blah blah. I am not a scientist, I do not know, but one thing I know for sure is I am an African woman, okay, and in Africa we have a lot of superstitions, we have a lot of superstitious beliefs, and some of these superstitions are actually real. And one of those superstitions that are very much real in this part of the world, I don't know if it happens in every other part of the world, but in Africa, Nigeria, is what we call spiritual spouses, spiritual wives, spiritual husbands. And I feel like in this movie, that is what was greatly explained, filmed, acted out, created, scripted, and shown to us, the audience, you know. And the beauty of it all is they were able to tell us, they were able to show us the beauty of this whole thing and the reality of this whole thing via storytelling. Okay, even though it seems fantastical somehow, but it is a reality in this part of the world. Now this brings me to the plot of the movie Sylvia. Now the plot simply tells us about a young boy turned man in the movie named Richie, you know, who was raised by his mom, his single mother. So every time Richie sleeps, you know, he finds himself in another world where he is friends with this particular girl called Sylvia. Now Sylvia is very innocent, naive, beautiful, and very, very mundane in a very, very in a very, very flawless way, almost too perfect, right? So he's very much friends with Sylvia, and the kind of relationship he has with Sylvia is one which sees him being at the benefiting end. He is always benefiting a lot from Sylvia. In school, when he cannot do his homework because he doesn't really understand maths, Sylvia helps him to do his homework. Even when he grows up and becomes a man, in his office, he becomes the star attraction in his office, one of the best staff, the most celebrated, because Sylvia literally helps him with his work, you know. And then as time goes on, it happens that in order for him to meet Sylvia, Sylvia always gives him a red hibiscus flower, you know. So that is what usually enables him to see Sylvia the next time he sleeps. And so in the real world, he meets a lady, Bemi, and it was love at first sight when he meets Bemi, you know. And then there comes the time for him to go and tell Sylvia that he has met someone he wants to get married to and settle down with. But then Sylvia does not take it easy. She begs, she cries, "You cannot leave me." And Richie was like, "What do you want me to do? You know, do you want me to sleep and never wake up?" Of course, that would be weird, you know. So Sylvia wants Richie all to herself, and there was even a time that Richie lost his mother, you know, and Sylvia, just as she was very, very powerful, gave Richie a potion to give to the mother. But unfortunately, the potion did not save the mother, so the mother died. So Sylvia became Richie's everything: lover, mother, father, provider, protector, everything, you know. Now the love story turns sour when Richie goes to tell Sylvia that he is getting married to Bemi, whom he has met in the real world. But then Sylvia did not take it lightly, and that was where the switch started. Sylvia switched instantly from being that naive, beautiful, innocent woman into a very, very vengeful and vindictive and mean woman, you know. And so Sylvia comes into the real world from the supernatural world. She comes into the real world and becomes friends with Richie's wife, Bemi, in the school where she teaches as a teacher, and also becomes a fiance to Richie's best friend, Obaro, you know. And so the very first time, you know, guys, that was just how it happened. And before you know it, Sylvia, who bear the name Cynthia in the real world, started tormenting Richie. Even at work, Richie started misperforming at work, you know. I forgot to talk about the part where sorry guys, I forgot to talk about the part where after abandoning Sylvia at work, he started having a lot of problems. Clients were not liking his presentation anymore, and so he went back to Sylvia to look for help. Now, on getting help from Sylvia, he goes back to the real world to face his life, and Sylvia did not have it, you know. So she comes into the real world to torment Richie's life, and that was where the whole problem started or continued, you know. So Sylvia gets engaged to Obaro, Richie's best friend, and not only got engaged, but then she got more furious and vengeful when she finds out that Richie's wife, Bemi, was pregnant. And so she worms her way into Bemi's heart, comes into their home, and that was how she pushed Richie into killing Bemi and also Obaro. And then she fabricates this whole entire scenario with her own spiritual powers, and then the police feels or just concluded that Richie has a mental problem. So this is how powerful Sylvia is. She did not make Richie go to jail or be murdered or go to jail for life. Instead, she gives a police report by acting as a police inspector that Richie was mentally challenged, and that was how they put him in a psychiatric home. And so years later, Sylvia is still coming back with the red hibiscus to torment Richie, that she's gonna give him a second chance. So guys, the movie is so beautifully scripted. Whoever the storyteller is really did justice to letting us, the viewers, understand the beauty of love and the reality of Africa's spiritual wives and husbands. Trust me, these things are real. Now guys, that is the plot. Now let me talk about the cast. I'm going to analyze the cast one after the other. For the cast, we have Sylvia, acted by Zainab Balogun. Zainab Balogun greatly interpreted the role or the character of Sylvia. Sylvia is beautiful. She has this mundane beauty, almost unrealistic. She's very, very weird. You know, we are mannerisms, our communication cues. You see that this is someone that is greatly disturbed, you know, but she's so powerful. How she does all those things she does, we did not find out at the beginning of the movie, but we found out much later in the movie. Zainab Balogun really did justice to this. So from the movie, we will see that Sylvia is one spiritual entity that had so much or has so much love to give, but when her love is scorned, you know what they say, the fury of hell has no does not measure up to the scorn, to a woman's scorn. There's something like that. I can't get it right, but you will see in the movie that Sylvia is one beautiful, innocent, naive young woman, right, who has so much love to give to Richie, her childhood love up till maturity or growth or adulthood, you know, and then her vengeance and vindictiveness comes into play when she feels like Richie used her or has been using her to sustain his life in the real world, and then she decides to come into reality to torment him and to take back vengeance, and not just vengeance but also take back her love, right? And then we have Richie, acted by Attoh, Ghanaian actor, is a very, very fragile man. Sometimes he exudes strength, but his strength is not enough for him to be able to break away or break free from his entanglement with Sylvia. Now he cannot break free because it's not a physical entanglement, it is a spiritual entanglement. And how that spiritual entanglement came to be, we the viewers were not told. Okay, we were only told about who or what Sylvia is, but we were not told about how that spiritual entanglement came about. Now in the real world, right, I have heard a couple of times in church or by pastors or by elders around me telling me that when people have spiritual wives or husbands, it tends to be hereditary. Maybe in their family, their family serves maybe the family is a spiritual family that serves all these ancient traditional deities, you know. So these traditional deities, when they see that when they see that there is one person that they favor the most or they like the most, they materialize into those persons' dreams, you know, and starts a reunion or a sort of a union with them that leads to marriage in the other world. Although in the real world, these people have ties with other people. Okay, so this is Richie. Richie has entanglements, spiritual entanglements with Sylvia, and so in trying to break off from Sylvia, he gets into a lot of trouble, and then the tragedy of his life happens, you know. And so in the mental world where Richie ended up, one of the nurses whom he was telling his story to was asking him, why are you here, you know, and he said that he chose to be seen as a madman than to be out there in the real world, you know, having to deal with Sylvia. And also we have Bemi. Bemi is very sweet, very unassuming, you know, very, very unsuspecting. That's the word, because a lot of things are just happening around her, and I'm wondering, like, girl, can't you see what's happening? Your man knows Sylvia. How come you cannot see? How come you're not even paying attention to the signals, right? And the one thing I love about Bemi's character is, first of all, our role was interpreted to us by Inidima Okoje. She's one of my favorite Nollywood actors. She's beautiful, she's exceptional, her acting skills is top notch, you know. So we see Inidima, who would normally act as the bitchy, who would normally act as the strong woman in other movies, but in this particular movie we see her vulnerability as a beautiful, loving, caring wife who would go to any lengths to just ensure that she showers her husband Richie with a lot of love, you know. But at end, the fact that she died, guys, it was just too painful to to bear. And then we have Obaro. Obaro is one of those actors in the movie that always provided us with the comic relief. The most interesting part for me watching Obaro is his evolution from the playboy, or from the boy that loves to have fun, or the man that loves to have fun, to a man who was finally smitten by his love and obsession with Cynthia, aka Sylvia, right? So it was really hard for everybody to believe that Richie and his wife Bemi, it was really hard for them to believe that Obaro finally found love, because this is someone that was not even ready, you know, to settle down. But his role in the movie cannot be overlooked, because he was one of the people that really pushed and encouraged Richie to get married to Bemi. Because guys, it wasn't surprising that as a result of his spiritual entanglement with Sylvia in the other world, he could not find himself dating any other girl. He had not even had relationships in the real world, you know. So that's why I said that Bemi, meeting Bemi was like love at first sight, you know. This is the first woman aside Sylvia whom he has ever met in the real world that he has seen and he has fallen in love with, you know. And then the PA, guys, gosh, that PA, like, I just completely love her. I don't know her real name. If you know her real name, guys, please drop that in the comment section below. I would love to know. Yeah, I love the way she acted. I love the way she handled her role. You know, of course, she's a PA that has affections for her boss, Richie. She is obsessed with him, and every time she's flirting, every time she's giving him the red lights, the signals, boss, I want you. And then I love what Richie always says: boundaries, you know. So I love the people selected to act this role. Oh guys, let's not forget about the boss and his accent. Damn, can somebody just tell him to come and watch my YouTube channel and let's hook up via email? Because guys, that man's voice, man. All the while watching and listening to the boss talk, guys, I had to replay just so I would hear his voice again. That man is sexy at ASF. Guys, okay, so that's the cast for the movie Sylvia. Now let's move on to the soundtrack, or background music. What am I saying? Background music. So the background music, guys, I want to first of all say God bless the music composer. Guys, one thing I'm proud of about our Nigerian movies these days is we are bold enough, and we are now more experienced by not using copyrighted music or songs from other foreign actors. Now we literally compose our own music. And guys, why do I have a strong feeling that whoever composed all the songs used in this movie, or all the soundtracks used in this movie, the person actually learned from probably Muson Center, or the person is one of those orchestra or classical singers from Muson Center? Like, guys, whoever, the singers, the voices behind all the songs, they were just so excellent and perfect. That's my neighbor's dog. I don't know why the dog is crying or barking, you know. So the soundtrack was just so beautiful. In fact, I feel like the soundtrack was the cloth that covered the nakedness, the bareness of the movie Sylvia. The soundtrack, the background music, all the tracks in the movie, it is what actually gave the movie its perfection, the finishing touches. And guys, it is so beautiful, so beautifully composed. Every track, every sound was just perfect for every scene, perfect for every mood, perfect for every tone, perfect for every interpretation of characterization in the movie. And I completely loved it. And then guys, the cinematography, oh my goodness, guys, Nollywood movie producers, movie makers right now, guys, they are becoming badasses. Like, gosh, did you see the part where Sylvia became upset and she knelt down, she put her face down, then when she looked up, guys, I saw the camera close to her face like this, and then she was looking at us like one zombie. Oh my goodness, like, guys, that part was freaking awesome. I'm like, gosh, how did this person get this initiative? Like, guys, it was simply amazing. I have never seen anything like that in the history of Nigerian movies, Nollywood or not. I have never seen anything like that, and it was so beautifully executed. Guys, that part makes up one of my most favorite scenes. It made up one of my most favorite scenes. The angles, the camera angles, bringing it what they call it, depth of field. The depth of field that we could see in the movie. Depth of field is like you focusing on somebody right in front of you and then blurring out the person in the background, and vice versa. You know, it was just so beautifully executed. I'm going to talk about my favorite scenes in the movie, okay? But the cinematography, guys, camera angles, everything is freaking amazing. You know, another part where cinematography really played a beautiful and a huge role was when Richie met Bemi for the first time in a fast food restaurant. You know, when she was laughing, looking at her phone, playing with her phone, and Richie was trying to order for his food, and then he turns around. Oh my gosh, look at the girl. Like, who is that girl? Who is that girl? You know, guys, it was so beautiful. My breath stopped at that point. I had to stop. I had to pause. In fact, just as Richie paused, I found myself pausing. I had to like oh my goodness. You know, guys, that was one of the most beautiful scenes, and it also made up my favorite scenes in the movie. Okay, now before I go on to favorite scenes, I know you guys are looking forward to hearing that. Let me also talk about the picture. Guys, I saw a review on Google. There's this website that does reviews on Nollywood movies, and they were really seriously castigating the picture quality of the movie, and I'm like, are you people for real? Do you people understand what they call tones? Do you people understand what they call mood in art, in movie making? Like, are you guys seriously for real? How can you people say that these people's picture quality in this movie was wrong? Come on! The picture quality of this movie was perfect. 100% perfect. Guys, do you know why it's perfect? Remember what I said from the beginning of this movie? The movie, the beginning of my review, the movie is trying to show us what happens when we are asleep, what happens in our dreams, what happens in the other world while we are asleep. Okay? And so, what better way to express that? What better way to show us what our dreams look like? By using a sort of bluish, washed, nudish, faded picture. Yes, because our dreams are not always colorful. Our dreams are not realistic. Our dreams, I'm talking about sleeping dreams now. Our dreams while we are asleep, they are not certain. We are not sure of what we are seeing in our dreams. Our dreams are fuzzy. Our dreams are not really clear. Our dreams do not come in a clear HD 4K quality picture. So nobody can specifically say that, oh, in my dream, I saw a perfect picture, you know. So in our dreams do not have perfect pictures. And I feel like that is what the creative directors or the cinematographer or whoever that chose that color in this movie, that is what they wanted us, the viewers, to see. And guys, they gave us that in perfection, and I loved it. It's just like watching Beverly Naya's skin documentary. I talked about the picture quality as well, and I said that it was really perfect because what? Talking about melanin, dark skin color of black women, that is the skin tone. Earthy, melanin, brownish, golden brownish, beautiful. And I feel like that is what these people literally did in this movie, Sylvia. They gave us perfection. The picture quality, guys, none could have suited it perfectly. This was just perfect. This was better. So whoever is coming to come and castigate the picture quality of this movie, I am tying Gilly on my head to come and fight you. Don't even dare. Don't even come close, because this is top notch. Hey, this right here is top notch. Hands down, perfect. No other picture quality for that movie would have done justice to us really understanding what happens in our dreams when we sleep at night. So please, everybody, hold your horses. Don't even come for this, because I'm going to fight you. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to fight you. Yes. Now, the theme of the movie, guys, we have the theme of spirituality, the theme of love lost, that's unrequited love, and the theme of revenge. The theme of spirituality, of course, I explained that already, you know, telling you guys how the movie tends to explain the spirituality of Africa, the spirituality of our dreams, the spirituality of life itself. Sometimes people say that spiritual things explain physical things, or physical things explain spiritual things, vis-a-vis. These things are real, guys. These things are real. Don't joke with it. And also, love lost, unrequited love, we can see that between Sylvia and Richie. Okay, now Sylvia's love is actually unrequited for Richie. Apparently Sylvia believes that Richie will be sleeping forever. Of course, she's the one that is always reminding him, oh, it's 6 a.m, it's your time, you have to go and pee, you have to wake up, you know. And that sees Richie sleeping by 10 p.m. in the night. Guys, I don't literally sleep by 10 p.m. I sleep by 2 a.m. in the morning, or sometimes 3 a.m. So I can't see myself sleeping by 10 p.m. in the evening and waking up 6 a.m. in the morning. I say, Richie, they try you. Richie is a good sleeper in that movie. Like, the guy was literally sleeping all the damn time, you know. So that was the theme of unrequited love between those two people. And it was really sad because, guys, let me just confess to you right now, no matter what Sylvia did to Richie in that movie, somehow I still felt sorry for her, and somehow I still had her back. I still felt pity for her. Guys, don't say that this Glory is evil. No, it's not like I'm evil or anything, but I just felt so sorry for her because I could feel her pain. I could feel how lonely she was. I could feel how she wanted to be a good person to Richie, but then Richie just messed it all up, you know. But then I feel like she did not really understand that, listen, the physical world and the spiritual world is quite different. So the question that I had for that movie, for that whole part, is when she knew that she could come into the real world all along, why didn't she just freaking do that? Why did she freaking have to wait till Richie got married to someone else in the real world before she decides to materialize into the real world? Like, what the hell is wrong with you, Sylvia? You completely messed up my love story. Like, guys. And so, guys, on the theme of revenge, that is what Sylvia was doing all through in the movie. I cannot really blame her, but also I blame her because, come on, girl, you had the powers. You are so powerful. You had the powers to come into the real world and take your man, but girl, you chose not to. So it's all on you. Joke's on you, you know. So that's that for the themes of the movie. And then the dialogue, guys. The dialogue is beautiful. Whoever the scriptwriter is, thumbs up to you, girl or guy. You did great. The dialogue is beautiful. One of my favorite dialogues is anytime Richie and Sylvia were having conversations, guys. It's always beautiful. It always takes me back to this Shakespearean period, Elizabethan period. It always takes me back to the classics, you know, the medieval times, how they exchange words of love, how they express their emotions. I completely loved it. And one of those words that Richie always used in the movie that I really loved was boundaries. Boundaries, guys. I'm gonna steal that word. Boundaries, all of you. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Anyways, guys, another thing I'm going to be talking about, is the plot holes. Now, when the movie started and Sylvia was always giving Richie a red hibiscus flower, I was always immediately I had alarm bells in my head, and I was asking myself, what does this symbolize, you know? And then that's one of the plot holes. We did not see that in the movie. It wasn't explained until later. Another plot hole, which is not really a plot hole, is how did Sylvia come into existence? I asked that question and I answered it already. So guys, how did Sylvia come to exist? I said it's a spiritual thingy, and it's also a myth. Not really a myth sometimes, but it's also a reality sometimes in this part of the world. And another plot hole is, how did Sylvia materialize into reality? Guys, see that one? It's really a great mystery to me. I am still racking my brains over that. You know, how? Because Sylvia actually said in the movie, in the dream world, that if Richie does not take the red hibiscus flower from her, that she can't see him anymore. And Richie specifically asked, you won't see me anymore, or you can't see me anymore? And she said she didn't say anything, and he said, okay, I thought as much, you know. So I'm asking myself, is it that Sylvia played us all, or she played Richie, including us, the viewers? Which is really smart, you know, because I did not see it coming. The movie was completely unpredictable. I did not see it coming. I couldn't have even predicted in my wildest dream that a Nigerian movie would literally turn out like this, you know. In my head, I felt like it was over. Red hibiscus flower was not taken from Sylvia, so she was not going to appear or she and Richie would not see each other anymore. I literally thought about that, but they took us unawares by making it possible for Sylvia to materialize into the real world, and then dated Obaru and got engaged to Obaru. That's Richie's best friend. And those are the plot holes, guys. But now let me explain the plot holes to you guys. You see this scene, right, where Sylvia comes to pay a visit to Bemi in their home, right? That was where Sylvia by herself explained the hibiscus flower and who Sylvia is. So it's not really a plot hole. Now let me say what she said. Now she said that the red hibiscus flower is the flower of the Hindu goddess Kali. Now Bemi asked, who is this Kali? And Sylvia said Kali is a goddess of sexuality, of violence, of motherly love, and she's also known, but she's more known as the destroyer of unreality. Hey! I said, these people bust my head. These people bust my head. Like, seriously, I did not see that coming. That was the part of the movie that just put the perfect piece to all the puzzles of the movie, you know. Now guys, remember when Richie lost his mother, you know, Sylvia had already told Richie how powerful she is. She's very, very fearful. She's very, very this and that. Very, very powerful, you know, a powerful deity, a powerful being, right? But Richie did not really know who Sylvia is. He did not know. He had no idea, right? So, that was, I think it was later on in the movie that Richie realized that Sylvia actually killed his mother, because when she came to pay Bemi a visit later on in the movie, at that time Bemi was actually far gone in pregnancy. She gave Bemi a potion in the juice that they were drinking, and then she said, don't worry, the potion is not as strong as the one I gave to your mother. So that was the time of realization for Richie that, oh my god, so the potion you gave me to give to my sick mother was not to spare her life, but rather to take her life, you know. And then that was where Sylvia said that your mother was becoming the only woman in your life that was controlling you and all of that. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So guys, Sylvia is not just the Hindu goddess Kali of sexuality, violence, motherly love. She's also the goddess of mischief, the goddess of manipulation, because she literally manipulated Richie. She manipulated him. She played his life big time, you know. So guys, that is the explanation of all the plot holes. So remember those parts that I was talking about that you might possibly miss them if you do not watch properly. I just explained it to you, so tell me thank you. Say thank you. Say thank you. So guys, this is the part where I talk about my favorite scenes from the movie Sylvia. Now my first favorite part is the childhood Sylvia and Richie. Guys, where did they get those kids from? Those kids are so beautiful, like coming from the 5-year-old or 4-year-old Richie and Sylvia to the probably 9-year-old or 8-year-old or 10-year-old Richie and Sylvia. They were just so intelligent. I love the way they read out their lines. I love the dialogue between both of them when they were lying on the floor on the grass, when they were talking, where Richie was telling Sylvia about his fears, that he's afraid of heights, you know. It made us just see how awkward, you know, Richie is as a child, and that awkwardness followed him into adulthood, you know. And he also made us see a glimpse of Sylvia's powers, you know, where Richie was complaining about not being able to do his maths homework, and Sylvia immediately sorted it for him, you know. So I just love that part. That's one of my most favorite movie scenes in the movie. And also the soundtrack that followed all that part, guys, was so beautiful. Listen guys, I'm definitely going to be watching Sylvia the movie again and again and again. And another of my favorite part in the movie is when Richie saw Bemi for the first time. I already talked about it. It was as if the whole world stood still for these two people to lock eyes, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is love right here. This is love at first sight. I love that part, and I love Bemi's laughter. Oh my god, can somebody tell Inidima Okoje that, hey, I have a crazy crush on her, on her personality, on her character in movies and stuff like that? No, like, this woman is good. I love the way she laughs, and whoever edited that movie, God bless you. Like, it got me all emotional. God bless you. The way you made her laugh, her laughter was just ringing like a sweet morning bell. Her laughter was just so resounding. It was just so beautiful. You guys made that scene so romantic. It made me want to meet my love all over again. It was just so beautiful. Another scene that I really loved is when Sylvia switched from the nice Sylvia to the mean Sylvia. Guys, how did they freaking do that? Babe was carrying almost no makeup on her face, and when she looks up, we see red, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what the hell is going on, you know? So I completely love that part. Another part that I loved again is when Sylvia growled like an angry beast. Remember when Richie ran back home to come and warn his wife about Sylvia, you know, and then he sees Sylvia in the house, and then that was where the poison that Sylvia put in Bami's drink started taking effect, and she was holding her stomach, and Richie was trying to come close to her like, babe, are you okay? And then Sylvia was like, ugh. I'm like, oh my god, this movie bust my head. Like, guys, you see that part, it sounded so real. It sounded so real. And there was another part again when Sylvia wanted to talk and she was like, I'm like, guys, you see this movie, I will not forget it in a long time. Those were my favorite movies and my favorite scenes in the movie. There are so many of them, you know. Another part was where Sylvia was walking into the restaurant and Richie turned around and looked at her, and she was walking like that. She was like, I told you. You know, that look said, I told you. Guys, it was so beautiful to watch, guys. I just couldn't get enough of that scene. Okay, so that said, guys, now I'm going to talk about the significance of the color red in the movie. Now, red had a huge significance on the movie. Red is Sylvia's color. Red is the color of the hibiscus flower. Red also connotes danger. Now, red also connotes love. Okay, red connotes love. I love the way the movie producers or the movie editors, they used red to spell Sylvia from the beginning of the movie, and then the red hibiscus, you know, it also symbolizes continuity, because Richie kept on seeing the red hibiscus flower. He saw it at the gym, you know, he saw it in his house. He asked his PA to get his wife a bunch of flowers, and then Babe went and came back with red hibiscus flowers, you know. So that only explains one thing, that Sylvia was the one that actually sent those flowers to let him know that, hey dude, your dream is now in reality. So prepare to receive me. Okay, now red also symbolizes connectivity. Red, that flower, is what connects Sylvia and Richie together. So red also symbolizes anger, revenge, pain, hurt, heartbreak. And that is why in the movie Sylvia wore a lot of black and red. So I can just confidently say that red and black, especially red, was a very huge symbol in the movie. And I feel like it was a subtle sort of communication from the movie producers or movie creators to us, the viewers. They were trying to let us know that red, or Sylvia, is in so much pain, and there's a lot of love and should I say continuity going on in the movie. I don't know if I explained it properly to you guys, but red. Anytime you see red, just remember Sylvia. Anytime you see red, remember pain, love, continuity. And also, guys, that scene at the restaurant where Sylvia was walking towards Richie, Bami, and Obaru, guys. I love the ambience. You see that red? It wasn't just the ambience of the restaurant. It was an ambience that was letting us know that here comes revenge. Here comes evil. Here comes anger. Here comes a woman scorned. Here comes a vindictive woman. Here comes a woman that is out to draw blood. Here comes a woman that is out to shed your blood. You know, that's to Richard. So guys, I completely love that part. And you see all those symbols in the movie. It only goes to show that this movie was really well thought about. It was really well crafted. It was like, guys, see, this is one of those Nollywood movies that I have seen that they literally planned every scene. They planned every word spoken. They planned every dialogue. They planned every object that appeared in the movie. They planned everything. You see that space, that garden that was used to act out the dream, that's Richie's dream, where he and Sylvia always met. That was very, very should I say well planned? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. That was very, very strategic. That's the word. Very strategic. It goes to show us that our dreams are like space. You know, you cannot put anything tangible in it. What you see is what you get inside of your dreams, you know. And that is why I love how this movie was just so thoughtfully, reasonably created. Every single item, every single thing, every single scene in the movie meant something. Everything was symbolic, and I completely commend. I love it. I absolutely commend the movie makers, cinematographer, editor, director, casting director. I heard that Lala actually, you know, directed that movie, or was the casting director. Guys, I want to give a huge thumbs up to her. She did an amazing job. She did an amazing job. There couldn't have been any actor better chosen to interpret all the roles that I saw in the movie. Hands down, I completely love it. And that's that for the significance. And guys, let's talk about character growth. I'm going to start with Zainab Balogun. The first time I saw Zainab Balogun in a movie was in The Wedding Party. She acted this awkward, nerdy, funny, wannabe wedding planner, you know, who was giving everybody the vibes of a UK returnee. I have accent. And then when things started to fall apart, she switched over immediately to Pidgin. Auntie Ejo, Emma Binu, don't be angry, you know, that kind of thing. And then I saw her in another movie. What's this movie? Hibiscus Hotel, the Royal Hibiscus Hotel. And I'm like, come Zainab, what is it with you with hibiscuses? Do you like red hibiscus roses in real life, you know? And there's sort of like a connectivity between the Royal Hibiscus Hotel. Is it Royal Hibiscus Hotel or Love Hotel? I can't remember the name of that movie, but it's an Ebony Knife movie, okay? There's sort of like a connectivity in that movie. It's still all about love, and she was a chef, a renowned international chef. No, not renowned international chef, but a chef in the movie. And red was also a color in that movie, showing love and betrayal and stuff like that, you know. In this movie, Sylvia, you know, she also acted the sweet, unassuming, naive dream girlfriend or spiritual wife. But then I love how she exuded strength. I love her evolution. I love her switch. I love the fact that she stopped being gullible to Richard's ploys. She stopped being weak in the movie and became strong and powerful. Like, she exuded her powerful, no longer in a very, very cute way, but in a very, very ruthless manner. I love the way she grew in that movie. So, ladies and gentlemen, accolades to Zainab Balogun. Chris Attoh, oh my goodness, guys, Chris Attoh really killed this one. I have seen a lot of movies where Chris Attoh acted, you know, the strong, the playboy, the strong man, the rich businessman, the poor businessman, but this is one and the very first movie that I've seen Chris Attoh act awkward, weird, unstable, confused, indecisive, gullible. Everything that he is not in other movies, he really exuded them in this particular movie. And I love the fact that he was able to pull off the role. One of my favorite scenes that I saw Chris Attoh acting out was when he was giving representation in the office and Sylvia was seriously tormenting him. Guys, the effects that they use in that part, I swear to God, in my life I've never seen it before. I think I saw it in Living in Bondage, where Ramsey Noah was lifting up Kenneth Okonkwo from the floor in the church. But let's talk about serious effect now. This one was second to none, hands down the best effect I have ever seen in any Nollywood movie since I was born to start watching Nollywood movies. And guys, I wish I could give my own personal award to the movie makers, right guys? So guys, I know that this video is really lengthy, but final words that I have to say in this movie is it is a must watch. It is highly recommended. It is one of the best all-rounded Nollywood movies. Storyline, effects, background music, everything is well synchronized, everything is well used, every single thing was planned and executed to perfection. Do you guys agree with my review? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget guys, tomorrow Saturday is my YouTube live. I do this every Saturday by 3 p.m. so don't you dare forget. Don't forget to join me as I give you a beautiful analysis of what to expect in Sunday's BB Naija. Pepper Gang is over, but in BB Naija season 5. I'm gonna see you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye.